Now I've zoomed right in, got that reference photo a bit closer again. I'm going to start working on the eye, just because it's nice and interesting to do after all that background work, and also because that'll be a nice dark to have on the drawing at an early stage, just so that I can compare all my other tones and values against it. So I'll have a nice light on the edge and I'll have the dark of the eye to compare against. So as you can see, the blue is really quite vibrant in the eye and around these edges as well. So I'm putting that in now, rather than putting a dark colour underneath and then trying to get the vibrant blues on top. It's easier to subdue a vibrant colour by putting something dark or the complementary colour on top of it than it is to have something too dark underneath. So if I did the eye all brown and black and then I tried to put the blue on top, it would really just dirty it. Okay, so that's why I'm putting this blue in first. Now on the top section of the eye is quite a rich brown. Using small circular strokes, that helps to push that pastel down into the lower tooth areas of the paper. Not pushing hard at all. You'll work out the feel of it yourself, but you only need to push as hard as is required to deposit the pastel on the paper, and no more than that. So you can see it goes lighter on that bottom section of the eye. That's where the light is just bouncing upwards into the eye, so reflection of the floor. Now obviously I can darken all this and make adjustments as I progress by adding more layers. Down the bottom area here, we've got a rich dark brown as well. It's nice to have an area like this that's quite detailed early on. It gives you something to aspire to in the other areas as well. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on working outwards from here. As you can see, I'm just putting in the colours, darker tones, and it's quite rich where we've got bounce light warming up the inside of, you know, the eye and the eyebrow as well. It's quite rich warm browns in there. Here I'm just putting a few indications in of where those light hairs are going to be, just so I know the position of those. And now I can use some of my darker pencils. You see I'm using my magnet to hold my glassine paper in place so I'm not smudging anything. And I can just block these dark areas in now with these pencils. Now once again, I'm not pushing hard. Okay, if you push really hard on the pencil, number one, you'll probably break the nib, but number two, you fill up so much of the tooth of the paper you won't have the chance to put any details on top. Okay, so always use the lightest pressure you can, put the smallest amount of pastel down that you can, because you can always put more on top, whereas when you put too much on, then you can't, you know, it's a real struggle putting details on top, and you'd have to try and take some of the pastel off, which you don't want to really do. Okay, so this is just indicating where the darks are in place. Now sometimes I'll work on a drawing from top to bottom, sometimes I'll work in detail on small areas and work my way out. It doesn't really matter. And if you look at some of my older Patreon videos, you'll see I do a lot more of the blocking in of the whole drawing and then bringing everything up pretty much to the same level at a time. Whereas a lot of my newer drawings, I work from a smaller detailed area and work out. It really makes no difference, and it's up to the artist which way they want to do it, and there's no right or wrong. So you can go by feel. If you think you get more interest by actually doing one area at a time, or you like to do the blocking in all over, totally up to you. Here I'm using a paper stump. You see that blends everything out nice and smooth and pushes the pastel down into the pastel mat surface, so it gets rid of the graininess. And then on top of that, I can now just refine the tonal values, the lights and darks, and the colors on top as well. So just going a little bit darker under the eye in this corner section as well. It's all about refining, adjustments. You start with a basic plan at the base, at the bottom, and then you refine as you go on top. And here I'm just really darkening that blue as well in the eye. So you've gone a little bit darker again. And using the pencil then to blend, rather than my finger, just using the actual tip of the pencil, blending it in. Okay, so the eye is looking a lot more realistic. Hasn't taken long to do either. It's not a particularly difficult eye. But it never goes really realistic until you start getting the highlights in as well. So we've got highlights under the eye. You see, I want to get that colour here a little bit more purple. So it's, sometimes I'm using only a touch of a colour, and also sometimes I may lighten an area more than I'm seeing in the reference, or even darken it for the effect that I want, rather than just following the reference photo all of the time. So as you can see, you start off with the mass of the colours going in, then you refine it on top, getting more and more accurate with each level or each layer. So it's adjustments all of the time. And that's why lots of times drawings go through what they would call, or what I would call, an ugly stage. So that could be, say, 2 layers in, whereas you need to stick with it because the refinement comes with the layers that go on top. I'm just brightening that up, making it a bit more rich in colour, because I don't want to lose that blue. I really like that blue of the eye. It tells us so much about the weather conditions. We know we've got a blue sky above us, and then that tiny little highlight on there as well helps to really create more realism in there, as you can see. Hi, my name is Jason Morgan. I've been an artist for over 25 years, and if you want to improve your artwork really fast and end frustration, I think my art channel is just for you. So on this video, I'm just going to talk about my Patreon art channel and show you a selection of videos that's on there. Now, as my channel's been going for over 5 years, I've got a real huge back catalogue of videos for you to watch. And when you join, you get access to all of the videos I've previously done on the tier you join up at. So that could very well be hundreds of hours worth of videos. And I have subjects from the very beginner all the way up to super advanced. So I'm just going to scroll through a few of those on the screen just so you get an example, an idea of the type of things that I've got on there. And remember, I've got 109 pastel videos, 31 oil videos, and 14 other ones like charcoals and some coloured pencils as well in there. And each video goes from start to finish. The videos go through all the steps from the drawing all the way through to the final completion as well. So I've also got very dramatic subjects. I've got things like pet portraits and realism, wildlife, leopards, cheetahs, orangutans, and also subjects in their natural environments as well, and some more unusual things. It's not always about furry animals, so I've got some reptiles, frogs, the earth, even churches, but it is mainly wildlife that is on there. These are just a few extra ones I put on as well. So even a human portrait and a couple of landscapes too. So it really doesn't matter whether you're a beginner, novice, or really advanced. I've got lots and lots at each level, over 1,500 members on my Patreon art channel, and many of them had never picked up a pencil or a brush before, and they're really surprised and amazing their families and friends with what they can create now in such a short time. And I also show you exactly how I do my most advanced work as well, which is something artists don't often share. Now that was just a few of the pastel videos I've got on there, and here's a few oils as well, just so you get an idea of that. Now it doesn't matter if you're only into pastels, only into oils, you will learn from each of the videos that's actually on there. And there's also videos on other very important things like composition, basic digital editing, how to print your reference photos and how to take really good ones as well, and also new reference photos each month. And as well as all of that, you also get access to our secret Facebook group for members only, and virtually every one of the members thinks it's the nicest, most supportive group they've ever joined. Now finding all of those videos is super easy. I've got a companion website, so with just one click you can jump to all of the videos you want. Now, hundreds of hours worth of videos, it doesn't cost hundreds of pounds or dollars. You can join from anywhere over the world, and it just costs from $4 per month, so roughly $1 a week. And there's no contract. You can leave and come back whenever you want, and you can go up and down all the tiers when you want as well. Hope that's a useful video, and I'll see you all again real soon. I hope you found this small section from the really long 2-hour+ video. If you want to see all the video, it's over on my Patreon art channel, and that's tier 3. And you then get access to all the other videos I've done on it as well, so it's about 5 years worth.